Oh, there we go. Come on.
It has started. I was already streaming for like a minute or two.
Oh, okay.
You can,
Well,
you can
let's
go.
see.
I'm advertising.
Let's see. We have Fraudbrand as Sedge in the blue as player 1 and Deliscore as Ragna on player 2 with black. So it's a fairly interesting matchup actually. Both are I would say I would think uh, it can go either way, but in my opinion, Sedge has kind of an edge because with like since they're both slow grooves, Sedge has a plan to can have a plan to reach a certain point in the game where basically he has groove and wherever Ragna jumps in, it will always result in a death or the groove won't have value, and then Sedge can just win from being Sedge. Mm, on this map, it might be a bit different because depending on how the game plays out, you can actually get quite a bit of groove in the early stages, like just from the opening. So maybe Ragna will have a bigger impact than Sedge before it reaches this very late game point. And I'm curious to see how that will play out at least. Openings seem fairly standard for now. We have a pike instead of a second sword from Deliscore, but that's still perfectly acceptable. Um, we're gonna see the mage decap from Fraudbrand. Choosing to send the sword to dehab the village. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially against slow grooves, because it gives you a free extra hit in the opening, and then it also gives the option later to like capture with something and then reinforce off of that village. Here, maybe it's actually worth to do it because we can see the sword is pathing more towards the center, this one. So maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Mm. We also see the mage decap being prepared by Deliscore.
And it is so.
Talking a bit about the players, Fraudbrand, the fairly new player for Groove of War, and Deliscore is someone that's quite interesting. They joined Groove of War 3 and they basically got a like out of nowhere got kinda just ran over some people, got a lot of upsets. Mm, I'm not sure if they've been playing that much until Groove of War 4, but here they are, I guess. So it's a very interesting match to say the least, because we'll get to if somewhat evaluate the what level Deliscore is at right now.
And indeed, Fraudbrand got some extra groove by hitting the soldier of Deliscore on the side. Let's see how Deliscore reacts to it. Probably retreating to the forest and healing the soldier.
Deliscore went first, more pike heavy defense from the early, because on the right side for player 2 and on the left side for player 1, you have to answer the CO just walking at you and pressuring all your villages. Here it's quite like this is one of the weaknesses of making pikes is that if he had a knight here, for example, or a mage or a dog, then somewhat trapping Sedge like he's doing right now would have a lot more value because he could actually threaten a lethal. Right now, Sedge could just either kill the sword or the village and get more rue.
Probably killing the sword. By moving to the mountain, then he cannot be attacked by the soldier. Or can he? He can, through the forest. But he can also move the soldier to support
Yeah.
the
The
Sedge.
the soldier positioning and path, I'm not a huge fan of because usually you wanna have him at least go uh, on the inside, or like you can go to the bottom if you intend to reinforce from the top of the village. But this like more center path, I'm not a huge fan of because like what are you gonna do? Hit the villages in the center?
Very interested in
But
seeing
then
how Sedge will react now.
yeah, let's see how Fraudbrand goes about all this. Ragna did the strange movement, not reinforcing but getting closer to the village. I guess she wants to reinforce next turn, so it's a good call on Fraudbrand to just go decap the village.
Which usually what most people have been doing is if they want to reinforce on this village, they just reinforce a little bit on the original village. So if the village get decapped, at least they got the HP. And since they're reinforcing
Oh.
next turn, they're spending the money anyway.
Well, what people usually do is they skip a village on this path and then to reinforce earlier. And since your CO will be like well more healthy, they can just decap villages instantly. It's another option, but Fraudbrand got unlucky trying to kill the sword. Assume he low rolled because uh actually generally in 2 hits in that situation it's pretty RNG whether you can kill the sword or not. But this is actually pretty bad because well Sedge would have gotten way more groove out of killing. Well, Sedge is still ahead on groove compared to Ragna,
Yeah, I
and
think it's fine.
income income seems to be about even for now.
We also see mages on the right and knights on the left for Fraudbrand, which is interesting.
Which I'm a bit curious about these mages on the right
They seem to be
because
early, right?
you can see there's like a knight coming, so the mages are maybe not the best build. And do you really need 2 mages
Yeah, because
this early?
just a side part for newer players, usually you don't build many mages in the start because you don't have enough money to support the heals. You're also not very far into the map, so you can always use your own villages to heal. So you kind of don't need the mages this early. So usually people opt to make units that need time to get to the front. So in the case of Deliscore, you opted to make, for example, the spears. So this mage is definitely a different option, let's say.
Well, early mages are not a bad option, I'd say, because depending on they can help with your opening because they have one more move. And like in some cases making an early mage can get you a lot of
Like the
value.
first mage. The first mage on
But
this map does that.
they also are quite decent at combat, like against spears and swords and all these kind of
But
stuff
not on
if they
this
get
map,
the
right?
first hit.
I think that's a map by map
uh,
case, right?
well, I mean, combat-wise, it won't really change it in the maps, but my biggest issue is that there's a knight coming out, and well, 2 mages aren't dealing with a knight anytime soon.
Yeah. In this case, a mage here is a bad choice, in my opinion. There are other options that would be more useful.
Well, maybe he just wanted more units that could capture villages, because he sent a sword to more to the center. So the most expensive unit you can do from a barracks that can capture village is a mage. So it makes
A
sense
ranger,
in that way.
an archer is the most expensive.
Yes, well, the most value you can get for combat.
And this is exactly what we were talking.
Deliscore really bullying,
Oh, and
kind of pushing back Sedge.
Sedge is probably gonna have to spend a heal here.
Yeah, the knight is coming.
Yeah,
Actually,
the knight can't get there.
Cannot reach once Sedge goes behind
the knight can't get
forest,
there.
but it's still dangerous.
He's gonna have to
and
heal.
this is where no, the knight cannot reach if Sedge goes behind the forest. And you see, if he had made something like a dog or a mage instead of the first spike, he would have been able to pressure Sedge even more.
I think his main problem was moving the soldier to the center. Like I was saying before, he should have moved the soldier that is out in the middle, should be below Sedge. Because if that soldier was below Sedge, he couldn't be surrounded. And right now he could guarantee that he was gonna heal on the other village, on the other side of the HQ. The movement to the middle was what prompted this whole situation.
I think so too. Yep, Sedge going out of range of the knight for now.
And this soldier at 3% and the other one can't kill it, so the healing isn't needed.
The healing isn't needed, but it's still nice if you want to attack something next turn. It might not be worth investing that early.
Yeah, 300 gold is steep.
Fraudbrand, despite his commander being pushed back so hard, isn't really down on income.
Oh, his income, I haven't opened in a while. They're actually quite close.
The difference between Fraudbrand aggressing here and Deliscore's aggression on the commander is that Ragna did get a reinforce. So now she can, well, now Ragna can just defend her own villages and take them back and farm a bunch of groove. I will say Sedge is at 50% and Ragna is at 25%, so... And since they are not that different on income, once Sedge reinforces...
Yeah, but
I'm not sure if he'd have gotten an advantage out of it, but...
Ragna is getting 25% next turn. Like, this soldier, I would be saying, whoa, free soldier right now. He's getting free groove for sure.
That makes sense, but Sedge will be at 55, so... Fraudbrand already going for the pikeman and balloon. The balloon is interesting because if you send it to the right side, you can then pick up a pike or an archer from the other barracks. So building the balloon the same turn as the pike doesn't like lose you value from the balloon because you're not moving two units as much as in some other maps. And he also has a sword to transport, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, this is a weird choice.
I mean, Ragna doesn't get a kill for Groove, but the knight is one of the most threatening units here, so it makes sense that Ragna would hit the knight. This way her own knight is now, like, once the second knight gets weakened or...
I understand that in terms of value, it's the better play, but getting the soldier gets her groove, so it gets her to her win con sooner, and not only that, it actually helps in terms of unit count. This knight is just gonna get back and heal up completely. So...
Well, hitting the knight gives you back some pressure for contesting all these villages.
I think the spear was
like
gonna do that.
The pike and the knight.
I think the spear was going to do that.
The spear isn't there yet. The spear will have to spend one turn or two until he can be active.
No, what I mean is, now that the spear is on the side of headquarters, if he was clearing the soldier, this knight would have to retreat. Like, he couldn't stay here because of the spear.
Mm,
I think he went for the value play. Like he definitely gains more gold, and the overall strength of Fraudbrand is more reduced right now because of this. But I think it's a
I
worse
also
long-term
think
play.
that it gives him more pressure over the villages to hit the knight, so he's valuing economy over roof charge.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I agree completely.
Mm, Deliscore at Fraudbrand playing a fairly slow-paced right now. Reaching 20 minutes on turn 6 isn't like the fastest game we've seen. It's not the slowest either, but it's still quite slow.
Yeah, the timer that I've seen floating around is turn 10 by 20 minutes because the first turns should be run in like 2 or 3 minutes. But
Well,
that's a
the
fast
first
clip.
turns were fairly complicated, so I don't really blame them for taking more time there.
Oh, absolutely not. And especially if you don't have the first few turns very well practiced, they will take some time on this map. This is not a complicated map, but there are quite a few decisions at the start.
Deliscore thinking of what he wants to build. Hmm. He goes for a knight on the right barracks, and he's probably going to send it towards the center or the left, judging from that build position. I'm expecting either a pike from the left barracks.
He's kind of missing a balloon, right? I think I think Deliscore's composition right now, it's very linear. Like he has almost the same units throughout. He has the initial soldiers, then he builds spears and knights, and he finally has a mage now on this side, which is
No, the
probably the
mage
same
was
mage as
the
early.
opening mage.
Yeah, this is the same mage as where you open, right?
It is true that both sides are a bit lacking in mages. Mm,
I think two mages for
but
Fraudbrand is good at the start.
for now they didn't save up gold to go for a dragon or something like that, so the only impact that the lack of anti-air will have is that the balloon from Fraudbrand can now be used to body block Ragna and stop some of her pressure now that she's fully healed.
And now he moves the spear into the balloon to push it to the front. And the soldier. Let's see where he decides
I'm
to.
curious what to who is like towards who is going to uh, invest more into golems or dragons first, because right now they are like on the board. Let's like Fraudbrand has nothing to deal with a golem, and Deliscore would have nothing to deal with a dragon or a golem. So
Oh, this is
going for
interesting.
the going for the surround on Ragna, that's actually quite a good play.
I think it's not going to be that dangerous.
I think it's pretty dangerous now a dragon has come out, so unless Deliscore can escape this, she's gonna be in Ragna's gonna be in trouble.
It might be, yeah.
And
Mm, Like I was thinking
because
about.
of the positioning of the sword capturing the village, the pike cannot attack either the knight or the sword blocking, and this is I'm not sure Deliscore can get out of this one.
I was trying to check it actually. So if he moves, this is like 90, right? Um, that's not what I want to see. So this is around 90 because there's a 10% reduction. The knight just this lives with 10.
Oh,
He
it's
might be
quite
dead.
unfortunate that the mage cannot reach the 1 health, the 14 health sword to heal it, because
That might be enough,
the
yeah.
sword could have suicided into the other sword, and then the knight could have cleared the sword if he did that. But now I'm not sure if the sword suicide and the knight will be enough to kill that sword.
It shouldn't be. This is 14%, and that's 14% of something like 55.
Let me open the damage calculator.
It's like 7 or 8 damage. It's not enough. You would need to high roll it. I think it's his only choice, but
So the sword would do something like 8 damage, and the knight
something like 90.
has 95% on average, so he has a decent chance of getting out of this, but
It's not
it's also a
95.
matter of
It's 95 on road.
Oh, right.
It's like
So
90.
it's actually 85 average.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
it is. That's exactly why I was saying it. Like, I don't know if he can get out of this.
Actually, no, I don't think it's possible for him to get out of it.
Wait, the soldier
No,
beats
no, no,
that?
because he has 8. He has 98 if both max roll.
No, wait. He might be able to
So
leave
that's
on the
not
right
gonna
side.
work.
He would still be dead anyway. This doesn't matter. Even if he gets out, I think he's still dead. There's too much around it.
If he gets out, he could survive, I think.
Because he
Because
has
the
nowhere
pike
to heal.
could take out the village, and then he could run behind it and then cover the left side with the pike. Oh, this is dangerous for Deliscore.
He might be dead.
I'm not seeing a way out of this.
Because this is 50. Even here, he can't really do it. Like, this right soldier can get to the pike, for example, for him to leave from the right side. But it's like, it's at 80%, and it's doing something like, is that on the road? Yeah, that at least that's on the road. So that's helpful. So that's what, 40%?
But I don't think he has the means to kill that pike, though. Because knights do 50 to pikes, and...
Yeah, but he can hit it with 2 soldiers, even though one is at 14% and the other is at full. Even then, it's still not enough. I think he's dead. I'm trying to figure out how that's not happening, but...
Oh, hang on. I think... Yeah, so... I just got PM'd, and... I can see the... Yeah, I can see the escape. The matter is, will Deliscore see it too?
Is it moving the soldier off so you can then crit with the pikeman,
Yes,
and then and then charge, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the players aren't supposed to be here. Do we need to start delaying the games? We can start adding like a 5-minute delay or something like that.
Oh, Deliscore might have seen it.
He should burn.
Deliscore did take quite a bit of time to figure this.
And he should burn as much time as he can. He would die otherwise. Like, now he captures the village.
But
from the inside, right? That's the play he has to do.
I think Ragna is probably gonna capture the village.
Yeah, he had to do it. And he's actually quite well defended because going in there means losing everything.
I'm not sure. A dragon is coming, so
He has a mage coming up too, so
he still has means to hit into all this. Like, sure, the mage is coming, but like the dragon's job is going to be like kill one thing and then he can go somewhere else. Deliscore is now quite down on time from this. I
indeed.
probably should start thinking a little bit faster about what he wants to build and how he wants to handle the right side.
No, if he doesn't build a mage on the right, I actually would move the dragon to the right side. Because the right side doesn't have any aerial defense. And yes, Ragna is a juicy target, but the right side seems to be super juicy too.
Well, the dragon basically pressures the whole map after it moves once, so it doesn't really matter like what it does this turn. I guess it could go east and hit a knight, so that'd be
It's just, I think it's just better.
probably
Yeah.
better. And it's not like the dragon is not pressuring the west while it's going east either.
And he even makes the witch, so going to Ragnar right now, I think doesn't make any sense. He should take the knight.
And so Fraudbrand now with over 7 minutes lead on the chess timer.
More groove for Sedge.
And yeah, Sedge about to get groove. Not quite this turn, but sometime soon. It's unfortunate that the mage cannot crit the sword, the pike from the forest.
He decides to stay and hit the knights. Let's see if he keeps the other units or was just taking value.
I mean, pike into knight is generally a pretty good trade.
It's definitely value for him, so the problem here is the rest of the units. How is he deciding to move on? Dog counter knight.
Well, so far Fraudbrand has been pretty insistent on simply sending a sword to decap villages. Which might not actually be the best choice here, because if you do that, you allow Ragna to heal more than she would. But we're talking like a 5% difference now, so it doesn't matter that much. Now here comes a golem, which is a pretty good timing because a witch was just built, so Deliscore is unlikely to get a dragon next turn, and would have to save up money for building it in 2 turns, so this golem probably going to have quite a bit of value before it really is answered to. So far Fraudbrand has built up a little bit of an advantage in army composition, I'd say.
I think Fraudbrand is clearly ahead. Deliscore
Well,
is definitely in
Fraudbrand
an
is,
uphill battle.
if you look at the overview, Fraudbrand is a little bit down on unit count.
Yeah, but the
And
unit
he
value
is keeping a build to get a golem, so there is an I wouldn't say Deliscore is at too much of a disadvantage now that the commander escaped.
I think the unit value is quite large, the difference. Uh, Now, managing a smaller sized army is indeed very hard in this kind of game. Um, but it's doable. But skipping builds right now definitely isn't something he wants to keep doing.
Yeah, and I mean, as Sedge, you can deal with bigger units with less expensive units pretty well, but as Ragna, it's more complicated because big units threaten Ragna more, so it becomes more complex to find a safe spot to land on when you grew.
You definitely need a good supporting army because when you land, you need your army to finish off the job. And if you don't have a good backbone to your army, that definitely becomes harder and harder.
Yeah. Mm, Deliscore, I'd say his biggest disadvantage this game right now is that he's quite on the back foot defending his HQ, whereas Fraudbrand has managed to put a halt to the pressure over there, even though his commander was really low before. He kind of gave a similar treatment to Ragna by threatening to kill her with that surround. But now Deliscore is under more pressure to defend HQ since a golem is coming and a dragon is on the board, and Deliscore is also under 12 minutes on the turn timer now. And timer just might just become an issue for Deliscore.
I think for now he's still good, but that he needs to start playing faster. That's for sure. Because he's still at turn 8, and these turns don't get to don't start playing faster. They get slower and slower. So he definitely needs to pick up his pace.
Well, if you want to play faster, probably you probably need more big units. I will say there isn't much anti-air on Fraudbrand's side, and one mage was killed last turn, so this
Deliscore
witch is this
go
witch
ahead.
is never going to be punished this turn. And it's just gonna roam free for now.
Yeah. Deliscore is definitely moving in the right direction. His army is now consolidating on the left side. Now Golem is coming, so that will become a problem for him in 2 turns. But he's definitely in a far better position than he was a couple turns back.
Yep, the income has been pretty stable so far, which is quite surprising with the amount of trading there has been. But Deliscore really needs to start playing faster.
For now, he decides to keep his distance, which is expected.
Well, I think he's going to need to, if he wants to win before his timer runs out without finding a lucky kill on Sedge, he has to start switching up his army composition because a bunch of pikes without balloons aren't going to make it to the HQ in time.
I think he was a bit forced to do pikes because he used the mage heal, so he only had like several hundred gold. So it was either do pikes or do something like, I don't know, pike and an archer at most. Pike mage. Like he couldn't really go for the golems and the dragons.
He could have done something like a dog and a knight, for example. Fraudbrand doesn't have many pikes himself, and he does have a golem and a dragon, but these can be dealt with in their own rights.
I think the pikes are fairly fine as long as he stops making them. Like he now has a lot of pikes, so
I mean, what I would really like to see from Deliscore next turn is a balloon.
oh, absolutely, I agree with that completely. But that is contingent on the amount of money he's gonna have. Um, so right now he's gonna have 1300. He's, that's probably exactly how much he's gonna have. And with 1300, what can he build? He can make something like a golem and a soldier instead of going
No,
for the
but
balloon.
I would really like a balloon. Like, Deliscore has a unit lead, and it's gonna keep growing if Fraudbrand keeps spamming golems and skipping builds like that. The problem is, the unit lead isn't relevant unless your units are active, and right now, if you look at the board, there's like quite a few units that aren't active yet, and a balloon would simply bring them to the front line. Fraudbrand is also taking quite a bit of time to play, but
He has the time.
he still has a massive lead. I would have liked to see more anti-air though, because the witch is not gonna be answered by anything besides that one 8 HP mage.
Not only that, the mage.
Fraudbrand will have Groove in 2 turns no matter what, and Deliscore is at 80% right now, so
Yeah.
Ragna Groove should be relevant next turn because he has plenty of stuff to hit. But both grooves should be up at the same time, and Fraudbrand seems like he's going to like keep retreating until something happens.
I think he's already thinking about the timer.
Alright, retreating with his units. If the pikes take out this village, I'm not sure if they can without Ragna attacking it. But actually, no, they probably can't. So Ragna can't go through the village to hit the knight or the golem. Let's see, Deliscore with under 10 minutes on the clock on turn 9. Definitely going to have to practice playing faster after this match.
And Deliscore understanding that the timer is an issue and moves forward.
Well, basically taking the village he set up a knight crit for last turn. But I'm not sure Deliscore is understanding timer is an issue at the rate he's playing right now. For example, the backward spikes probably should have already moved to the center like 30 seconds ago.
He's not following the rule of thumb of moving everything you know you're gonna move first, and then start thinking about everything else.
Yep, moving the obvious stuff first. Deliscore did set up a night crit on the HQ, so... And there is a lot of situations on this map where a night crit can be set up while the knight is doing something else. So that's not necessarily intentional, but it's definitely on the board right now.
Yeah.
Ragna Groove has been charged up, so Ragna is ready to go.
I also
It
like
will
the
be
position on
ready
the
at
knight.
the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be ready at the same time that Sedge gets Groove, so it's going to be a bit spooky to jump in from now on.
But I think he's getting ready to do a big play and try to win off of it. Because that knight isn't there just because he wanted the village. That knight is positioned
Yep,
to keep
and
the
here
attack
we see
going.
the witch, the uncontested witch being placed really close to the HQ. But the time keeps running out, but if he can end this in 1 or 2 turns, then Deliscore would have this. He still has to get through Sedge, a Golem, and a Dragon to do so, which is not likely to be the easiest feat. But we'll see how Deliscore goes about it.
He's definitely on the back foot, that's for sure.
Building his own Golem? Either a Golem or Knight would have been pretty good here to threaten the HQ. So it's acceptable. I would have still liked a balloon to give value to, because right now all these spikes would never reach in time the HQ.
They can, he
And they're
just needs to play
basically
faster.
well, Deliscore now getting a pretty big income lead on top of his unit lead.
Yeah. I think the Deliscore needs to really start pushing forward, because Fraudbrand clearly intends to just play safe and time him out if need be. So he needs to take advantage of that and start playing a little bit more aggressive.
I would have liked the Golem to get closer to the HQ and actually stop the Knight crits.
Yeah, the fact he's not stopping the Night crit is actually quite interesting.
It's quite a bit of a concern, but he probably will block with something else. The thing is, if you get the Golem next to the HQ, you can then create more of a safe spot for the dragon to hang out, protected from the witch.
Yeah. I think if he puts the Golem in front of the HQ, there's no way Deliscore is charging anyway. So it would be safe. It would just be a deterrent.
Alright, the Golem and the Knight finishing off some units. Decapping a village so that Deliscore can't build as many like big units as he wants it to.
Also, that
Now
Knight's
a
position
dragon
threatens HQ.
The archer on the opposite side, oh, double archer actually. Still no mage to threaten that witch.
He's playing very
And I
defensive.
think Fraudbrand probably needs to occupy like most squares next to the HQ right now. Otherwise, the witch can just stand there and deny a block. Although I think
There are
the
no
80%
squares.
mage and the archer would be enough to kill a witch.
The witch can't stand near the HQ. The mage can hit all the squares around the HQ.
I'm not sure if 80% mage will probably kill a witch, and the archer can finish it
It
if
should
it doesn't
easily
work.
kill the witch.
But I'm kind of concerned about sending Sedge backwards. You could have captured that village with something else.
I think he's very confident he's probably winning on time. So he's just guaranteeing he doesn't die. I think that's it. But I think he's playing way
Well,
too safe.
he's leaving open the night crit right now. I'm not sure I like this.
I don't like it at all.
Like now, if he wants to cover, he will have to sacrifice a mage, and that mage is very valuable because it's his only anti-air.
Yeah, but I think what happens is if he sends the mage forward to kill the witch because the witch is trying to block, is he just makes another mage right there, right?
Of course, but right now he needs to keep his mage for at least one turn.
Where is the dragon going?
Dragon going out of range of the witch.
Yeah, Ragna
Again,
plus knight
this
doesn't
could
kill
have
it.
been this could have been prevented if the golem went to the bottom of the HQ.
Knight plus
Well,
commander, knight crit plus commander hit. You need to be lucky, if I
that's
recall
not
correctly, to kill the
bad. You
HQ.
need to be lucky, but
And the
I think Gimbal saying that Ragna and Knight won't kill the HQ, but the thing is, right now he can weaken the HQ quite a bit.
yeah, but if he just goes for it right now, I think he just loses all those units.
Well, if he had the balloon, he could pressure even more, you know?
Yeah, the balloon needed to be closer though.
And the thing with Ragna is that she doesn't have to be that close to the HQ to deal damage to it, because she can jump from far away, so... Well, not Deliscore not going to go for the night crit on the HQ, just going for a slower approach, but... you can see he's trying to play faster now, realizing he's getting low on clock.
The witch can also go to the bottom, right next to the dragon, and do a hex, if he wants to. That would hit the dragon, the archer, the golem, and the soldier. And basically make it so that the dragon had nowhere to run to.
That is true. And since, I mean, Deliscore does have a lead in income, but not so big that which can just hex every turn and still get away with it, I think. But Deliscore needs to like play faster.
I think
And we've been saying that for quite a while, but
yeah, well,
but that's gonna, I mean, that's really going to bite him very soon. Fraudbrand going for archers is quite a defensive play, especially in his position. But
oh, here comes the dragon. He skips both builds for the dragon, which I kinda agree.
yeah, I agree with that much time. You're going for, you're only like you're going for your last push, regardless of what happens.
It was either that or
So-
double knight.
Dragon makes sense.
Yeah, dragon is better.
Especially considering there's still only one mage on the board.
I think he should have prepared the night crit instead of capturing that village near the HQ. I don't know if he
People
needs
are
that
saying
extra
Ragna
100 gold.
is too far. People are saying Ragna is too far, but Ragna can still reach the HQ with her groove from here.
Yeah, Ragna is fine.
So that shouldn't really.
No, that's
That
irrelevant.
shouldn't really be an
Yeah.
issue.
Ragna can jump from there, no problem. Now he's taking way too long to do the rest of his plays.
Yeah, I think he should probably just end turn right there. There isn't much else to do. There we go.
The only thing I would have done is move the witch to the bottom, next to the dragon. But other than that, yeah, that was an end turn.
Fraudbrand considering how to go about this defense exactly. I would definitely want to see maybe a mage because now a dragon is coming, so that's gonna be an issue, but deciding to move his units first and think about the builds later. Archer's getting into the mountain, still a dangerous position because of the knights and the mage.
I don't know if I like the golem hitting that pike. I think I would have preferred it if it stayed just in front of the HQ. He has to hold for like 2 minutes.
Deliscore is not that low on time that Fraudbrand can just bunch up his units around the HQ and win that way.
I'm not saying
Still has
bunch
to-
everything, I'm just saying
has
the
to
golem
work.
should be there.
I don't necessarily disagree with hitting the pike. What I really dislike about it is that it puts the golem in range of the upcoming golem.
Yeah, that's even
Because,
worse.
well, Pike crit is one of the most damaging hits to the HQ.
Oh,
Oh, I think I see what he's gonna do. He's gonna cover the dragon, and that way the witch won't really be able to reach it. Yep. Well, the knight could still kill the dog.
yeah, but this was what I was talking about. He needs to just cover his HQ. If he's playing for the timer, he's playing for the timer. Shouldn't be playing around.
Oh.
That I don't like.
I really don't like that mage hit.
That mage is now just gonna die for the other mage.
Now nothing can stop the dragon. Yeah, Deliscore starting to play way faster.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This is 8 movement, right? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's why he attacked there. Because it was the only unit he could hit. Makes sense then.
Indeed.
Is it time to actually Ragna Groove? It might be.
I mean, the place where the pike that hit the golem is right now is where I would have preferred the Ragna Groove to be. Although, because this way you can also hit the archer with it. But... and you land on top of the mountain. But I suppose he has other options. But he needs to think about it fast, because...
He's going for the dragon now? Yeah, this is the play. This is the play. Which there, then you Ragna Grooves. And Ragna is pretty safe on the mountain. Like, because the other golem is gonna get a golem hit itself. You also can't really kill the witch, right?
Well, I mean, both the witch and the dragon are uncontested so far.
No, but that's the thing, like, he can't go past the witch anyway. So this is... now was the moment to jump. You might actually make it.
I think he's probably got this because, well, the biggest reason is the lack of anti-air from Fraudbrand's part.
Yeah, yeah.
Deliscore can stop moving his units on the left, I think. But
He's just making sure. Like, he's got it in the
he
bag.
doesn't need to make sure because the game is going to end.
Yeah. He still has 2 minutes. It's not like he's 10 seconds away from game end, right? And it's not like it's gonna be hard for him to end the game. He has too much stuff around the headquarters.
Well,
Has a dragon,
I'm not
a golem,
gonna
2 mages.
I'm not gonna suddenly give a free Deliscore can now play slow. I'm just gonna keep saying what he needs to do to play faster.
I understand what you're saying, but I think he could do what he did, basically. Like, yes, he's short on time, but he's about to win. Like, he's 1 turn away from winning, so.
It's not optimal.
To spend 5 extra seconds killing a knight.
Yeah, and Fraudbrand has no more say into what happens to his HQ.
Yeah, no, he is gone. I'm not seeing how he survives this. Like, sure, he kills the knight, but even Sedge can't really stay there because he just dies. Like, if he leaves Sedge there in the middle trying to kill something, Sedge itself will die. Like,
most he could do would probably to be like finishing off the pike and the knight with Sedge Groove. But no, he's not going for it. Probably just wants to kill the knight with the Sedge attack, I guess. There we go.
yeah.
Hmm.
And now the HQ is open.
And
that's it.
well, Deliscore now has options. He can go for Sedge, he can go for the HQ. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Here comes the mage way too late. And the balloon block isn't going to be...
Because there's a mage and a witch there.
Now, I'm curious to see if Deliscore is going to go for the HQ or Sedge, to be honest.
In this kind
Not
of
that it
situation, he
matters
shouldn't
that
be playing
much.
around. But yeah, he can do both. He can just do Dragon behind Sedge and then do Ragna, and that would kill it. Even if he low rolled or something weird like that, he still has an axe, so that will do it. But he can kill him. He can do anything right now. Like,
I'm going for the HQ. Yep, healing the golem. And... oh, 1% left on the HQ. Ooh. I wonder if there's like a hidden rule that says you have to leave it alive for this turn.
well,
And I guess not.
good game. Both players played well. And
Yeah,
it was fun.
good game. Deliscore ending with a minute and a half left on his timer.
Yeah. He brought
It
it
was
back.
really close. It was really close, but not the kind of close we're used to seeing.
He totally brought it back. It was really fun to watch him turn it around. Because if we recall, we had a surround on Deliscore where he almost died. Like, he had one play that he needed to do to survive, and he spent most of his... it was by far his longest turn, and he used this time properly to figure it out, got out of that situation, and then just managed the rest of the game until he could pull it back. It was very, very interesting, very fun match. I hope more matches are like this.
Yeah, Fraudbrand kind of giving away a bit too many units, and his lack of anti-air really made it so he could not like hold on anymore onto his HQ. We might be talking about an even closer game if we actually see anti-air from Fraudbrand, but I guess that's just how the game played out.
Very, very cool.
And well, I guess that was the last game of
That was,
round
yeah,
two
the last
for
game of round two.
War 4.
Takoya, do you want to do
And
the outro?
no, I still have things to say.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
uh, I like seeing that Deliscore is still seeing like most of the good plays that are available to him, and that like from a certain point on the board, he just had a straight up lead in everything but time. And
I really
I'd say
appreciate that he.
Deliscore,
Go
if
ahead,
we
go ahead.
compare it to Ash beforehand, where, well, I'd say that Deliscore, I would say Deliscore is in a little better spot than Ash because uh, while they both kind of struggle with time, Deliscore has a stronger showing of understanding how the game works, which I really like.
The part I liked about how he played is that it was calm. He seemed in control the whole time. He seemed calm and collected. Like at a point in time where I think everyone was looking at the game and thinking he needs to play faster, he needs to do this, and he needs to start thinking about the timer and whatnot. He was taking control of the left side of the map, ignoring the fact that Sedge was on the other corner and the HQ was super far away. And he was like, I'm gonna take care of the economy first, and I'm gonna start creating a position to win the game in 10 minutes. And that's a hard decision to make when you're playing against the timer because you have no idea if the other guy is gonna defend properly, right? So that alone, I think, was a really good showing from Deliscore.
Yep, I really enjoyed this match for different reasons that I enjoyed most matches. And I mean, for all we know, like Deliscore could just like have been very relaxed and just went, "Oh yeah, I." He just calculated everything, including the time available to him. He went like, "Yeah, I'll win with the minute left," and that's what he did, you know. But I still think that going against tougher opponents, that time is going to be quite an issue for Deliscore. So
Yeah, against the top players, I don't think Deliscore could have pulled the game like this, because definitely Fraudbrand could have extended this game for a couple more turns, maybe slightly more. The golem play on the turn before that I was complaining, where you went for the spear, that movement alone probably cost him the game, like right there, because it exposed the golem to the other golem, and because he didn't try to protect the golem, it actually exposed a unit to the just built dragon, which actually entered into the equation, and it shouldn't have. It shouldn't really have affected the equation because he wanted to defend the headquarters that was 3 or 4 squares below where the dragon could hit. So I think it all started there, and Fraudbrand made like a couple mistakes in his defense that Deliscore exploited, and it just converted into a win pretty much right then and there. And I think against stronger players, he's not gonna get that. Like, he's gonna have to take, even if he's in a superior position, he's gonna have to take the 2, 3 turns, 4 turns it takes to actually convert the advantage into a stronghold kill. But even then, I still think it was a very impressive showing because people that don't play in tournaments don't understand this. When you're playing for a match and you care about the game, you start getting nervous. And if you start thinking, okay, I got this in the bag, but I'm gonna lose because of the timer, you get more and more nervous, and you start making mistakes, and you start losing sight of the plan. And Deliscore never did. He just played solid and went for it, and he had a plan and he executed, and he won. So props to him. I think I really think this was a great match.
Yep. I agree with most of what you said. Deliscore just sticking to what he knows how to do it and just winning. And good game to you too, Fraudbrand. Good thing on you realizing where you had still an advantage on the clock and trying to play around that. Definitely good game awareness.
He almost had it. Like Fraudbrand almost won the game. So it was definitely not the wrong decision to try and get the clock. It was really just a couple mistakes here and there that didn't allow him to extend the game the 2 more minutes he needed.
Yep. Well, I think that's gonna be it, right?
Wanna do the outro?
I mean, this was this was Fraudbrand versus Deliscore during the round 2 of Groove of War 4. Was it
EST.
was it EST?
Yep.
Yes. Alright, brought to you by Basic and Sequoia, and well, tune again next week for more matches, more exciting matches.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching.